Hey there, wargamers. This is Justin from AMPServices, and today we're going to be doing a review of Sabine's TIE Fighter. This is very interesting because this is a TIE Fighter for the Rebels. Not even Scum. This is Rebels. Interesting. You would think that a Commandeer TIE Fighter would be for the Scum and Villainy guys, especially because it's Sabine, who is a Mandalorian. But this is for the Rebels nonetheless, which is really cool for gameplay perspectives, really cool for Rebels, probably slightly infuriating for Imperials who want to have their toys and not share them with the Rebels. I'm sure the Imperials would love to have access to droids and things like that, so they could have increased shield regeneration and so forth, but the pesky Rebels have stolen their technology. That being said, on the horizon, rumor mill is there are going to be a new ship for Imperials that has access to turret modification, aka Imperial ships with twin laser turrets. So I think it's a good trade-off that if that happens, that the Imperials are gonna have twin laser turrets and Rebels, you know, they got a TIE Fighter. Whee! I think that the twin laser turret's a better trade-off for them. So let's jump right in and look at the dial here. Looks pretty much like a standard TIE Fighter to me from what I can recall from memory, which is interesting because it's a TIE Fighter for Rebels. That's about as far as that's gonna go. Let's move on and look at the pilot cards here. We'll notice right out the gate, all four of the pilot cards included are named, so you can't just spam TIE Fighter swarms or Rebels, which is a good thing. You could still get all four of these into a standard list, though that would not seem too fluffy, but you could do it. So let's start at the bottom here. We have Zeb Orleos, which I believe he is from the Rebels TV show. I think all this stuff here is from the Rebels TV show. But I believe we saw him as a crew card, maybe even a pilot card for the Ghost upgrade kit, the Ghost and the Phantom. Anyway, I digress. He comes in at 13 points, pilot skill 3, standard stat line for a TIE Fighter, focus, barrel, evade, again, standard stuff for a TIE Fighter. His ability reads, when defending, you may cancel critical results before hit results. That's not terrible. I guess being able to cancel crits so that you don't take one to the face because he has no shields is useful. I guess you can't expect much more from a pilot, or a 13-point pilot. If you wanted to include that in your Rebels as a point filler, okay, maybe that would be a little bit more useful than a Z95 since it has one less life but more evade. So, maybe. Next one is Captain Rex. After you perform an attack, assign the suppression fire condition card to the defender. This is one of the new mechanics from Fantasy Flight. The suppression fire reads, when attacking a ship other than Captain Rex, roll one fewer attack dice. When you declare an attack targeting Captain Rex or when Captain Rex is destroyed, remove this card. At the end of the combat phase, if Captain Rex did not perform an attack this phase, remove this card. So basically, Captain Rex is going to throw this out, and he's going to bait himself. He wants to be shot. So you're going to roll one, or they're going to try and shoot him to pull off suppression fire. So long as Rex shoots, the card stays unless he was shot. I feel like Rex here is going to combo well with Biggs, I believe it is. The Rebel X-Wing pilot that if a friendly ship within range 1 is a target of an attack, Biggs has to be targeted instead. That's going to stack stupidly well with Rex because Rex can throw out suppression fire, Biggs can draw the fire, and then you roll one less attack dice against him, which is going to make it incredibly hard to get Biggs off the table. It is possible I have Biggs and Wedge's names mixed up. Whoever's watching this, I do this all the time. If you guys hung out with me locally, you would probably have heard someone correct me a million times. If I had a penny for every time, I'd be rich. So if I did screw that up, feel free to comment below and tell me I'm a dum-dum and correct me. That said, I think that is really, really silly at 14 points with what he can do with Biggs. That's dumb. Anyway, moving on. Next one is Sabine. 1 point more, so we started with 13 points with Zeb, 14 point cost for Captain Rex, 15 point for Sabine, and yeah, okay, I was cheating a little bit. The next one is not 16, it's 17. So let's jump right in and look at her pilot ability. Immediately before you reveal your maneuver, you may perform a free boost or barrel roll action. This is pretty cool because it says boost or barrel roll. She has barrel roll on the card but does not have boost. So she could reveal her dial, make her boost maneuver, then do her normal maneuver, then barrel roll. And she's got an elite pilot talent, which the other two ships lack. So this is going to give her some options. She could actually pull some Poe Dameron style shenanigans. You could give her push the limit. She could reveal the dial, do a boost or barrel roll, ideally a boost. So do your boost first. Then you push the limit barrel roll, gain the stress, then execute your agreed maneuver and pull the stress off. That's silly. You know, she's ready to go. Interesting. Yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. And if I recall, for push the limit, that just says whenever you perform an action, you may take another action, or immediately make another action, and take a stress token. Hang on one second, I might have one laying here. We can discuss this. Ha ha ha, victory is ours! Boop. I did have one laying here. Once per round, after you perform an action, you may perform one free action shown in your action bar. So this is really silly. So hear me out, guys. You put push the limit on Sabine Wren. You reveal your dial. Perform the boost action for free. Push the limit barrel roll wherever you want to go. That's going to stress you. Execute the green maneuver that you've selected, ideally. Then you can perform your action for the turn and do focus or evade. Because her ability was a free action, push the limit is a free action that incurs a stress penalty. You've now cleared the stress. You still have your standard action for the turn available. You can't do another barrel roll because you've already done one, but you can do a focus or evade. That's going to make Sabine Wren extremely slippery, and with push limit coming in 18 points, and she's going to be really nasty and just zipping around and dodging. Very interesting, very cool. That's, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty slick for 18 points, guys. Give that a try and let me know what you think. Last but not least, coming in at 17 points, breaking the mold here when we had 13, 14, 15, 17. And this one is Ahsoka Tano. Similar to Sabine Wren in that she's one of the two pilots from the box here that has the elite pilot talent slot. Her pilot ability reads, at the start of combat phase, you may spend one focus token to choose a friendly ship at range 1. It may perform a free action. I don't know about spending focus to give someone a free action. I guess it could synergize well. I guess that's what a lot of Rebel stuff does, is synergize, but that pilot skill does not blow my skirt up, so to speak. Let's see what upgrade cards this kit comes with, and maybe there'll be something useful. Let's throw these in some particular order real quick. Alright, there's no duplicates. So let's start with Veteran Instincts and get that out of the way. Everybody that's seen this upgrade card, it's in a million kits, 1 point, you increase your pilot skill by 2. We don't have to spend much time talking about that one. So next one we have a modification, which is interesting because it's TIE Fighter only and Rebel only. I get it, you know, you can only put this on a Rebel TIE Fighter, but it just seems odd to see a TIE Fighter Rebel only clause for me. It's weird because we're Rebels. We don't normally have TIE Fighters. Anyway, this comes in at 1 point and it reads, enemy ships with a pilot skill value lower than yours cannot declare you as the target of an attack. After you perform an attack or when you are the only remaining friendly ship in play, discard this card. I think this is pretty much screaming to be on Ahsoka Tano, because she's pilot skill 7, so anything that is lower than hers cannot fire at her until she has shot. Wait, hang on. Okay. Yeah, so they can't attack you until you attack, and then if you throw Veteran Instincts on her, put it at her 9. Most things outside of the high pilot skill aces can't fire at her. Essentially what the Captured TIE title is going to let you do is get into position and strike when you want to strike, which is interesting. Now I had read a combo where people were trying to use Ahsoka Tano Captain Rex and the captured TIE title, and you would and actually it might have had Wedge in there too, or not Wedge, Biggs, whichever one makes you drop the fire. I don't remember, but basically what they were trying to do was make it to where they would basically be shooting at Rex instead of Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka would fire, dropping the captured TIE title, and then they would use the scavenger crane upgrade from the quad jumper, and because this is a modification, she would discard this when she shoots. If an enemy ship dies, she then gets to flip it back over with the scavenger crane, which, because I just did the quad jumper review, there you go. After a ship at range 1 to 2 is destroyed, you may choose a discarded, torpedo, munitions, bomb, heavy laser, turret, or modification upgrade card, and flip it face up. Then roll an attack die on a blank result, discard scavenger crane. So essentially, what this is going to let you do is take Ahsoka Tano with, the Biggs or Rex or a combination thereof, and they can't say if they can't shoot her, they're going to shoot at Captain Rex, or they're going to or they're going to shoot at Biggs if he's having to draw the fire. So then once one of them drops and she's been blasting, then you're like, okay, time to get the heck out of Dodge. Something dies, friend or foe, flip that back over because of scavenger crane, and there you go. Actually, okay, sorry, I missed out a key element here. Next upgrade card, which is going to make that actually viable. Sabine's Masterpiece, 1 point, TIE Fighter, Rebel only title. Your upgrade bar gains the crew and illicit slot upgrade icon. So that explains how they were doing the scavenger crane, because that's an illicit thing. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so Ahsoka Tano's got some definitely cool combos with that stuff. I'll talk about those in some tactics videos later and give some build options, and we'll see. Moving on to other upgrade cards, we've got Captain Rex, comes in at 2 points for a crew card. He reads, after you perform an attack that does not hit, you may assign 1 focus token to your ship. Interesting. I guess that definitely helps out if you're trying to use that to not die, or you have some type of focus stacking abilities afterwards. Guess not terrible for 2 points. Might be better spent things elsewhere. We'll see how he plays out. Last upgrade card is an illicit slot. During the combat phase, instead of performing any attacks, you may discard this card to assign 2 ion tokens to each ship at range 1. Alright, so again, I feel like that's going to come into play with Ahsoka, depending on your build. If you run Sabine's Masterpiece card, which gives her the illicit slot, you can then run AMP device. If their pilot skills are 6 or less, or if you're running Veteran Instincts on Ahsoka, 9, so 8 or less, you can get into position and drop an EMP, and there's nothing your opponents can really do about it. I think the issue is going to be with the meta as I've seen it. You've got lots of low pilot skill, high striking ships that are high damage inflicting ships that she would be able to ignore with her ability. Or not ability, where's that thing? Oh, capture TIE title, there we go. Or modification. There's a lot of stuff that she would be able to ignore with that. I think Ahsoka's issue is going to be when she comes up against lists that are running at least 1 ace, Poe Dameron, Vader, Finn Rao, Winterfell, things like that. She's, I think, going to struggle because she's going to be able to be fired upon. Alright, so last but not least here, let's go over Suppression Fire one more time with one of the cool aspects. The one thing I don't like about this is that they want you to assign this card onto an enemy ship. So let's say it's an enemy's TIE Fighter. They want you to place that next to it or on its card, whatever, so you remember. I don't like that element because I worry about losing things. I would not want to lose tokens and stuff because I placed it on an opponent's card and forgot and they took it with them. It's not the end of the world, but it stinks. They do give you one of these little tokens that matches, so you can place it and not forget it. It is an extra element that you have to keep up with, and if you lose this token, you're kind of like, oops, what did I do with it? So there is that. So keep in mind, if you are going to run the the Rebel TIE Fighter that you keep up with your tokens. That being said, guys, that's going to conclude my slightly scatterbrained review of Sabine Wren's TIE Fighter. I got a little bit sidetracked to one of the build options that I had heard someone at the shop talking about. As always, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe to help support the channel. If you'd like to have me paint some type of X-Wing related miniatures for you, please check out my website, thearmpainter.com. I have painted some X-Wing figures in the past. My portfolio does not have a whole lot of photos though, because I have not had as many commissions. Most of the photos are my personal X-Wing miniatures. However, I am capable of painting them. If any of you guys have followed me for any length of time, you know that I paint primarily War Machine and 40K models, but I am well equipped to handle X-Wing miniatures as well. Additionally, I have started trying to get into live stream game, particularly on Twitch. So if you'd like to check me out over there, see some live stream painting, hang out and paint, or just shoot the breeze with me, or hang out with me while I game, that would be awesome. I would love to interact with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. As always, happy wargaming.